Trulman today became the first person to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. The UK is rolling out the first doses, starting a global immunization program that is expected to gain momentum as more serums win approval. The UK is getting a head start on the project after British regulators on December 2nd gave emergency authorization to the vaccine produced by U.S. drug maker Pfizer and Japanese BioNTech. The first recipient in the UK's effort gave words of encouragement to others considering taking the vaccine.
I would say go for it. Go for it because it's free and it's the best thing that's ever happened at the moment. So please go for it. That's all I say, you know. If I can do it, well, so can you, you know.
U.S. authorities are also reviewing the vaccine alongside rival products developed by U.S. biotechnology company Moderna. Here in the U.S., the Food and Drug Administration may authorize the Pfizer vaccine this week. And we'll find out more today about Minnesota's rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine. And Moorhead Mayor Jonathan Judd will be part of the announcement. Governor Tim Walz is holding a telephone news conference this afternoon to discuss the state's COVID-19 vaccine distribution plan. The governor will be joined by 4 Minnesota mayors, including Moorhead Mayor Judd. North Dakota health officials are reporting 366 new cases of the coronavirus, marking the 4th straight day that positive tests for COVID-19 have dropped, and a continuing trend of falling positivity rates. This is also the latest numbers, 9 new deaths, including the first death of a state prison inmate who was COVID-19 positive. The inmate was admitted to a Bismarck hospital November 25th and died on Friday. In Minnesota, there are more than 5,000 new cases being reported and 21 new deaths. CVS is hiring thousands of extra nurses, pharmacists, and pharmacy technicians in preparation for the COVID-19 vaccine. The company says it plans to vaccinate millions of people next year. The plan is for the first vaccines to be delivered to locations across the U.S. A week from today, Pfizer's vaccine gets the green light from an FDA panel that meets on Thursday. A small study suggests we may be one step closer to having a universal vaccine for the flu. The phase 1 trial evaluated the safety of the experimental vaccine in 65 people in the U.S. The scientists say it produced a strong immune response to a wide spectrum of flu strains and subtypes, and it lasted for at least 18 months. New this morning, fighter pilot, World War II ace, and the man who broke the sound barrier has died. Chuck Yeager was 97. As a combat pilot during World War II, he flew more than 60 missions. He never trained as an astronaut and said never wanted to. Instead, he became a test pilot for the Air Force. Picked to pilot the rocket-powered Bell X-1, it was in that aircraft in 1947 that Yeager did what no man had done before. Reached the speed of Mach 1, the sound barrier. Let's get checked now. That first alert storm team forecast. It's 9 minutes before 7, and we're already talking about some changes on the way this week, Lisa.
Yeah, we want to give you that early heads up that it's going to be a rude awakening heading into the weekend. We have a first alert weather day issued for Friday. That's kind of the inflection point for the changes coming up in the forecast and in the pattern for us here. Here's a look at our conditions as we look out the window right now. This is in Fargo on our first alert Skycam network. You can see as we're looking off to the east, starting to see some signs of that first light, but we also have some cloud cover overhead too. Going to be more of a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy kind of day here today, and we're holding on to this milder weather coming up here for at least today and into tomorrow. We're looking at some 20s and some 30s right now as you step out the door. It's 26 degrees in Fargo, 24 in Grand Forks, 37 in Jamestown, and 39 in Sisseton. So pretty mild in our western and southern counties. Our visibility looking a lot better today, though there is some fog in parts of Minnesota. We're kind of right on the edge of it. So we do have a little bit of lowering out to the east. We want to watch out for some slick spots on the roads, maybe some frost on your windshield in those areas this morning. Here's your radar and satellite map. You can see that we have those clouds overhead. There are some breaks in them and then some areas where they're pretty thin too, where we're going to get some sunshine through, but it's not going to be a perfectly sunny day here today. Here's a look at our bus stop forecast. At 8 o'clock, we're still looking at conditions that are a little bit dark. Sunrise doesn't happen until exactly at 8 now. So that's in Fargo, a little bit later over into more parts of North Dakota. Keep that in mind that, yeah, we're looking at a darker start here today, especially with the clouds. And then into the afternoon, looking great for heading home from the bus stop. We're talking temperatures that'll be in the 40s, 50s out west, and some 30s over to the east. We hang on to this warm weather tomorrow, even into part of the day on Thursday, but there's also a chance for some snow along the international border Thursday. So that's our start of the change. We really notice that difference on Friday when our temperatures stay below freezing and continue to go down as we head into the weekend and next week. So be ready for it. We still have a couple of days of mild weather left.
Eventually, I'll think 30s and 20s are really nice, but right now it's going to feel cold.
It's true.
Thank you, Lisa. It's a hot topic for parents in the Fargo School District because it could change the future for their children. Some parents are asking the school board to put boundary changes on hold, but it appears the board is moving forward with the process. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live this morning to break down the options that the school board is looking at and talk a little bit more about what parents are saying. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Lisa. Overcrowding in some of the Fargo schools is one of the biggest concerns. That's why they're talking about the whole changing of the boundaries. Parents are feeling like it won't work because of the timing of this, so they're raising concerns. Also letting you know that they say the instability could impact your children. So that's another concern they have as well. And there are 3 options to tell you about. Now, with the first option, all of Ed Clapp would go to Carl Ben Eielson South. With option 2, an area west of 25th Street and north of 17th Avenue will be assigned to Ben and North. All of Kennedy would go to Carl Ben Eielson in South. The third option, all of Jefferson would head to Ben and North. All of Ed Clapp and Clara Barton Hawthorne assigned to Carl Ben Eielson in South. With any of the 3 options, all Eagles would go to Discovery and Davies. Now, one parent, along with many others, wants to save the vote for a time when there is more stability for Fargo students.
The thought of losing one of their main support systems, which is really their friends, their teachers, school resources, the thought of changing that and the upheaval of that, I think would be concerning at a time like today.
Now, either way, it'll be as if for next year, they're looking at implementing these changes for the 2022-2023 school year. The meeting is set for tonight.
Brian Sherrod reporting live for us. Thank you for that update. A Fargo woman is mad and frustrated after her car was stolen and then became part of a hit and run. Fargo police tried pulling over a vehicle on North University Drive around 1 Sunday morning, but the driver took off and hit another vehicle. Then 2 people inside the car got out and ran away. It wasn't until hours later that the owner of the car noticed it was gone. She reported it to police, only to find out that it had been badly damaged in the crash.
I went outside, freaked out because my car was gone. I called up everybody I can think of who might have saw my car. My heart dropped to my stomach. I was crying. I was upset because it took me 3 years to get this vehicle.
Now, Jade is asking anyone with information to reach out to police. Check out this wild video this morning of 2 guys stealing an ATM from a North Dakota convenience store. The theft was all caught on surveillance camera. It happened right around 4 o'clock Sunday morning. You can see there are 2 men wearing masks pulling into City View Fuel in Litchville. They break into the building, then tie a tow rope around the ATM and yank it out through the store's window. The store's manager says she's just sick about it. There were thousands of dollars in the ATM.
We've had a tough year the way it is, and then all of a sudden they decide to do this, and whatever their motive was, it's like, seriously, get a real job.
The vehicle was a black or dark blue Toyota pickup. The suspects are white, about 6 feet tall. One is believed to be in his 30s, with the other possibly in his 50s. If you have any information on this ATM theft, call the Lemoore County Sheriff's Office or your local law enforcement. Police say a man whose body was found in a Grand Forks hotel over the weekend was the victim of homicide. He's been identified as 55-year-old Jeffrey Shulzitsky of Grand Forks. They say the incident was not random, but they do not believe there is any danger to the public related to this case. Police found the body Saturday afternoon after being called to the Budget Inn Express for a welfare check. NDSU administration met with members of the local Black Lives Matter group following protests on campus over the weekend. The group is asking school leaders to change their hate speech policy to include more serious punishment for violators after the discovery of a racist Snapchat group involving NDSU students. The group also wants an offense to appear on the student's record. They want more resources like counseling for students of color and more representation of minorities in NDSU leadership. The group hopes to meet with the administration again later this week. You might have seen a lot of unattended red kettles this season, but that probably won't happen today. Fargo-Moorhead law enforcement officers are spending some off-duty hours ringing bells to raise money for the Salvation Army. They're going to be at 20 sites across town, and a little friendly competition is going on. Realtors and off-duty firefighters will also be doing their own full day of bell ringing today. And of course, they'll gladly accept your cash. But this year, you can also use your smartphone to donate as you pass the red kettles. Here's a happy update to a story we told you about 2 weeks ago about the North Dakota man reuniting with his sisters for the first time in more than 20 years. David White and his two sisters, Courtney and Amber, were separated in the foster care system. He and his wife made the trip to Ohio last weekend to meet the women, and he also met his two half-siblings for the first time. David tells us that they're a family again, thanks to his sister's social media investigations. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question: sales of this item spike 40% around the holidays. What is it? We had a lot of great guesses, but the answer to this question: diamonds. Remember, you can play along by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page every weekday morning. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start. But remember, the Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather right now on the Fargo CW.